Angela Merkel has been heckled in Germany's parliament by far-right MPs opposed to ongoing coronavirus restrictions, with the Bundestag's President Wolfgang Schäuble forced to step in to restore order. The German Chancellor was barracked by members of the Alternative for Germany (AfD) party after urging lawmakers on Friday to approve new powers allowing her to force coronavirus lockdowns and curfews on areas with high infection rates, saying a majority of Germans were in favor of stricter measures. I do take these objections seriously. And of course, I also engage with you on this, and I also want to do this here as well. For one, curfews are not a new invention but are in the infection protection law that is currently in place. Mr. Schäuble, whose job is roughly analogous to that of the Speaker of the House of Commons, then jumped in, saying, Mrs. Chancellor, could I just make a general statement? I ask you, dear colleagues, whatever our personal opinions may be, don't you think, in face of the emergency situation and the worries of our citizens, that we should take them into account in the way we are debating this here? I'd like to politely ask you to do this. His intervention prompted applause among socially distanced MPs in the Bundestag. Mrs. Merkel's government wants Parliament to change the Infection Protection Act to enable federal authorities to enforce restrictions even if regional leaders resist them, hoping to alleviate pressure on intensive care units. Lockdown opponents have held demonstrations across the country, but especially in the former East, where the AfD enjoys more support. The party claims restrictions have failed to halt the pandemic and actually cause more damage to both the economy and people's mental health. Mrs. Merkel acknowledged in her speech that the new powers were no bulletproof solution to the pandemic, which she said could only be defeated with vaccinations. AfD parliamentary leader Alice Weidel said the new measures were an unprecedented attack on basic democratic freedoms. She said, the proposed amendments of the Infection Protection Act are an alarming document of an authoritarian state. This relapse into the authoritarian demon is coming from the Chancellery and you, Madam Chancellor. Merkel gazed at her smartphone during most of Mrs. Weidel's speech. German former MEP Hans-Olaf Henkel, who quit the AfD after it shifted sharply to the right in 2015 issued his own warning about the proposed law change. No one disputes the need for lockdowns, but we don't need one which covers the entire country when the rate of infections is vastly different within the country.